I flick my finger and the world explodes. 1 trillion points in strength. What have I done? One moment I was a loser in a dark room, and now I'm an almighty god. My name is Yoshioka Shigeru. I used to be a salesman who took pride in this ugly mug. I figured as long as I worked hard and made the customers smile, my face didn't matter. I was living a fulfilling life, or so I thought. Then came the train ride that ended it all. A girl screamed molester, and because I'm ugly and happened to be carrying otaku games, no one believed a word I said. Guilty by appearance, fined, fired, and finished. Years later, she was caught framing men because she couldn't stand stinky-breathed ugly mugs. But the damage was permanent. I became a shut-in, a ghost in a messy room, cursed by the very face I once held with pride. Then I found it, a forum talking about a second life. I didn't care if it was a virus or a prank. Anything was better than this shitty existence. I followed the ritual at 2 a.m., clicked next, and gambled on a reset. The character creator was a salesman's dream. I dumped my looks to a negative 255 and accepted every brutal handicap I could find. Earnings? Gone. Sex? Lethal. The result? Over 1,000,000,000 bonus points and god-tier potential. I woke up in a log cabin and immediately checked the mirror. Still ugly. Despair. Party of one. To make matters worse, I wasn't alone. 3 others were there, and unlike me, they actually looked like fantasy heroes. Meet the pretty people, Seiji, Leeds, and Seika. They're all 16 and stunning. I'm just the monster in the corner. I found a gold coin in a drawer, but even here, things are already getting complicated. We split the starter gear. Because of my reduced earnings handicap, the coins didn't add up, and I looked like a thief. Still, Seiji seems intent on being a good guy, forcing us to work as a team. Fine. Efficient, at least. I lost rock, paper, scissors, and got the staff. Typical. We set off for the town of Iria, but internally, I'm already planning my exit strategy. Being in a party of pretty people is just asking for more trauma. Goblin ambush! Seiji and the girls are actually fighting, but I'm getting tossed around like a sack of potatoes. I felt pathetic, even in this new world. I thought my stats were a joke, until I actually landed a hit. I killed 1 goblin and leveled up 31 times. 31 times? Then I saw it. My special note, experience gain boost, 10,000x. I'm not just strong. I've accidentally broken the game logic before we even reached the first town. An almighty god? Me? I tried to flick a stray goblin off the porch, and the resulting shockwave basically leveled the forest. The look on Seiji's face was priceless. Note to self, do not use full force for social de-escalation. Seika was struggling with her bow, so I offered to help. I made up some bow-stringing syndrome nonsense to hide my insane dexterity. I strung that thing like it was made of rubber. I'm pretty sure she's starting to suspect I'm not just a dignified middle-aged man. She let me take a shot. I picked a skill called Ultimate Strike just to test the UI. Big mistake. A golden dragon literally fell from the sky and vaporized the entire horizon. My de-escalation tactics definitely need work. After clearing the mobs, we reached Iria. It looks like a classic fantasy town, but wait. Is that a hamburger shop? In an isekai? My stomach is making more noise than the goblins did. I was resting by a fountain when Seika found me. She brought a hamburger as a thank you gift. I was touched, really, until I remembered the touch penalty in my stats. Interacting with girls is literally a death sentence for my health bar. A spark of electricity, my touch penalty. And that burger was history. I use my old salesmanship skills to apologize. She actually smiles. Fine, I'll stay with the group for now. I owe her a burger. This world is weird, but maybe I won't have to face it alone. Watching Seika stock up on arrows at the shop is painful. She's stressing about inventory while I'm standing here knowing I could mass produce 1,000,000 of them with a flick of my wrist. But a professional salesman knows when to keep his mouth shut. Showing my hand now would just raise too many questions. She insists on paying for my room at the inn. When I try to refuse, she practically has a breakdown, tears welling up as she grabs my sleeve. Great, now I'm being dragged through town by a teenager. My status screen is a nightmare. Looks, negative 255, a literal monster. But my HP and MP? Over 500 trillion. I'm a god trapped in a body even a mother couldn't love. I'm staring at the ceiling of the inn, analyzing my skill list. If I don't find a steady source of income, I'm going to be stuck in this debt cycle forever. I have trillions in stats, but can't afford a burger. I use my old salesmanship to start a barter scheme, trading mass-produced arrows for food vouchers to bypass my gold penalty. The group is losing it over the modern snacks I brought. Finally, I'm contributing. We're planning a trip to the Cave of Arga when this guy Kiyoshiro approaches us. He's a fellow reincarnated guide with a scar and a pirate hat. My internal alarm is screaming newcomer hunter, but Seika is already sold on his discount coupons. Seiji seals the deal with a handshake. Next thing I know, we're all geared up in construction helmets and headlamps. We look like a literal search and rescue team in a fantasy forest. This is humiliating. Goblins ambush us on the road. Seika is spraying arrows everywhere but hitting nothing. Kiyoshiro tells her to imagine each arrow costs 100 million yen. Whatever works, because she finally lands a killing blow. While they train, I check my staff skill. Final destination, new. A warning pops up. It will erase everything in a 200-kilometer radius and kill 1.5 million people. Cancel! Abort! I am never touching this button again! Kiyoshiro warns me not to fall behind, then leads us to the Cave of Arga. It's a massive ancient ruin. Seika is geeking out over limestone while I'm staying alert for any signs of a trap. Seiji drops a bombshell. He was 30 in his old life. Then Seika claims she's 17. I'm calling total BS. She's got the energy of a middle schooler who just discovered sparkles. We fight off some megabats and reach a giant ornate door. Kiyoshiro says it's the boss chamber and will die instantly. He leads us to a meeting room safe spot. A modern conference room in a dungeon? Kiyoshiro starts a party, but my poison detection pings. The cider is spiked with sleeping potions. Damn it. I try to stall by asking everyone about their pasts while the drinks go around. Seiji was a CEO who lost everything. He tells us about a passionate salesman named Shigeru who once inspired him. That's my name. That's my old job. I'm staring at him while my world tilts. The potion kicks in. The group collapses. Kiyoshiro's gang arrives and they slap handcuffs on me. Seiji is fighting to stay awake, gasping as he tries to shield the girls from these vultures. Kiyoshiro drops the mask. He's a newcomer hunter, and he's laughing while his thugs beat Seiji down. I can't use my real power or I'll blow the whole room. I have to find another way, I improvise. Pig jump! I throw my weight into it, rolling and spinning through the thugs like a shackled wrecking ball. I'm drawing their fire so Seiji can catch his breath. I'm taking their hits, letting them punch my face. Kiyoshiro is literally poking my nose to mock me. Go ahead, laugh. I'm the ultimate human shield and I'm not letting Seiji's pride break. Seiji's special note skill ignites. His hand is a sun. Wings are sprouting from his back. He's becoming the hero he always wanted to be. Maybe being nice is finally gonna pay off in this world. The air in the room suddenly ignites as Seiji triggers his special note. He's glowing, sprouting massive white wings and radiating a blue emblem that screams main character. Kiyoshiro and his gang of thugs are trembling as the hero Aldean descends upon them. Seiji doesn't hesitate, his fist gathering an intense, fiery red aura. He's charging forward, a divine engine of destruction about to level the playing field. I'm hanging back in the shadows, waiting to see if this kid actually has the stomach for a fight. He stops. The glowing fist is inches from Kiyoshiro's sweating nose, but the impact never comes. The law will judge you, Seiji declares with an unwavering, heroic gaze. Are you serious right now? He's giving these vultures a chance to atone instead of turning them into charcoal. The moment Seiji turns his back, Kiyoshiro draws his blade. Coward. I can't let my cover blow, so I accidentally trip, throwing my massive, indestructible body right into the path of the strike. I'm eating dirt and a cloud of dust, but that blade just bounced off me like a toothpick. Oops! I tripped! I yell, playing the bumbling fool while shielding my teammate. Time for some psychological warfare. I flick a booger with 1 trillion point strength and boom! The room erupts in a massive explosion. A white-winged hawk descended! I shout, pointing at the sky. I'm spinning a ridiculous yarn about divine miracles, and the best part? These idiots are actually buying it. The thugs are broken. They're prostrating themselves in the dirt, sobbing and begging for mercy from Aldean-sama. Kiyoshiro is literally streaming tears of terror. My little fabrication worked better than a nuke. They're too scared to even stand up. I convince Seiji they need a whip of love to truly repent. This turns into a bizarre, high-energy ritual of passionate face slaps. The room is filled with sparkles and ugly crying as the thugs thank him for the correction. It's the most melodramatic surrender I've ever seen. What am I even watching? Kiyoshiro pulls me aside and tries to bribe me. Join us, pig, he sneers, mocking my face and offering women in gold. He thinks because I'm ugly, I'm desperate. I just stare him down from behind my shackles. We're cashing in. 100,000 riras, about 10 million yen. The girls are beaming, calling me the MVP for being their shield. Seiji is looking humble while the criminals rot behind bars. For a bunch of newcomers, we just hit the jackpot. There's a catch. My earning penalty makes the gold worthless in my hands. I pivot, using my old lip service skills to claim I'm a spendthrift who can't be trusted with money. Seika jumps at the chance to manage my finances. Perfect. Now she's holding the cash I technically can't own, and our debt is essentially handled. Burgers and truth. Seika drops a bombshell. She also manipulated her stats, lowering her looks to -16 for bonus points. She asks me with a blissful smile, "Am I pretty?" Is she serious? She's gorgeous. She tells me she used her special note to make herself look like this. I'm just trying to hide my shock behind a mouthful of fries. I'm in the bathroom, having a moment of clarity. She keeps touching her hands and legs, looking down in wonder. The realization hits me like a freight train. Her special note wasn't about being pretty. It was about being able to walk. She was disabled in the other world. I'm sobbing on the toilet, overwhelmed by the cruelty of it. I'll protect this girl's dream, no matter what. We're back at the tavern, planning our party roles. Seiji is the hero, obviously. Seika's going for mage, and me? Seiji dubs me the Epicfighter. Epic? Why does he have to add that? Seika looks thrilled, but I'm just trying to get used to the ridiculous titles. Destination, Valeria, the biggest city in the region. Seiji's leading the briefing like he's planning a school trip. Shopping for gear. The store owner is a master con artist. He sells Seika a jump rope for 1 rira, claiming it's the supreme weapon for kung fu fighters. I'm face-palming internally. It's literally just a rope with wooden handles, but she's beaming with pride. I guess I'm training a jump rope assassin now. I'm training Seika in the park, but she's using the rope for more than just exercise. She's bonding with that quiet blonde girl. Seika gives her a nickname, Reese. Watching them smile and laugh together, it's a moment of genuine friendship. Reese's physical abilities are insane. She's flying through the air like a pro acrobat. Villagers swarm Reese to recruit her, and when I try to help, they treat me like a predator. "Call security!" they yell, cursed by this face again. Even as a god, I'm still the villain in their eyes. Later, Seika hands me a letter from Reese. "Let's be friends." My heart actually skips a beat. But then, Reese corners me in private. She looks me dead in the eye and drops my real name, Yoshioka Shigeru. She knows. My secret identity is blown, and I'm staring at a teenage girl who just unmasked a god. She's staring directly into my soul. Yoshioka Shigeru. My real name drops like a guillotine in this wooden room. Reese isn't guessing. She's reading my window. My secret is out and my heart is hammering against my ribs. My stats flash across her vision. Trillions in power, -255 in looks, and a curse that says I'll be dismembered if I ever have sex. Great, let's just list all my humiliations. Then the mood shifts. She admits she's the one who broke Seika in our previous world. An AI program gone rogue, an accident that left Seika shattered. Reese's special note isn't just a skill, it's her cross to bear. She wanted to understand others so she'd never cause that kind of pain again. The bombshells keep coming. Seiji is her biological brother, but he doesn't recognize her in this new body. She's cursed with the inability to lie, a brutal penalty for anyone trying to navigate this world. We've formed a united front. To prove her resolve, she cuts her hair right then and there, a symbolic gesture of her commitment to protecting Seika. I'll take that deal. A good partner is a rare commodity. We're heading for the Principality of Valeria. Seika is ecstatic about Reese's new look, treating this dangerous trek like a weekend retreat. My job is to make sure they actually live to see the destination. Seika's magic is actually blooming. She's so proud of her development. But we're taking a steep mountain shortcut to save time. In this world, faster usually means more likely to get ambushed. By the river, Seika gets emotional about her progress. I tell her the truth. Crying isn't a sign of weakness. It's proof your heart is moved. If you forget how to cry, you'll stop growing altogether. Reese's archery is terrifyingly precise. 3 arrows, 3 fish. Then she pulls me aside, begging me to keep her identity a secret. She's afraid the truth will shatter the group's fragile dynamic. Campfire talk. Seiji's discussing metropolitan hubs and KPIs. The kid really was a corporate president. It's nice to know at least one other person here speaks the language of logistics and expansion. We find her huddled against a tree, Rhea. She's covered in bandages and hunted by men with swords. She looks like a victim, but in this forest, nothing is ever that simple. My instincts are screaming, but Seiji is already moving to help. A flash of her trauma, dumped because she wasn't pretty enough. That kind of rejection curdles. She slammed her hatred into her special notes. I'll never forgive pretty girls. Wait, isn't Seika the definition of pretty in this world? Back at the cave, Seika is already using her healing magic on her. It's a kind gesture, but potentially a lethal one. Reese checks Rhea's window and the blood drains from her face. The notes say, "I'll never forgive pretty girls. I'll gouge their guts out." Rhea isn't looking for a party. She's looking for a victim, and Seika is target number 1. It's a classic divide and conquer strategy, and Seika's kindness is the bridge she's crossing. Rhea is a master manipulator. She calls me and Seiji lewd to create distance, making it so we can't get close to her without looking like predators. The trap is set. Rhea lures Seika to a watering hole under the guise of bathing. I'm using my 1 trillion agility to vibrate between the camp and the perimeter. I'm moving so fast, Seiji thinks I'm an afterimage. Stay focused, Shigeru. Seika takes Rhea to the watering hole, and the mask finally slips. The blade is out. Rhea's eyes are glowing with a murderous impulse she can't fight. I wrote it into the notes, she rasps. My heart stops. Seika! She's a slave to her own hatred. She's lunging now. The blade aims straight for Seika's throat. In her old party, she slaughtered a beautiful mage in these very woods. I'm ready to intervene, but the sky suddenly ignites. A blinding divine light erupts. And wings! Massive, shimmering wings are unfolding. What the hell is happening? Seika's eyes are shimmering with a light that shouldn't exist. Rhea looks terrified, and I'm just staring as this massive surge of divine energy erupts from a girl who was just a target a second ago. Seika's sprouting actual white wings, her voice echoing with a weight that silences the forest. Rhea is trembling, clutching her face as her sanity slips through her bandaged fingers. She's screaming about her special notes, how she's cursed herself to never forgive or spare anyone beautiful. This girl isn't a villain. She's a slave to her own written hatred. I'm watching the impossible. Seika is floating toward her, ignoring the blade and the bloodlust. She reaches out, and as their hands touch, a blinding pixelated light erupts. It's a literal miracle. She's healing that shattered arm right in front of my eyes. Seika is closing her eyes, her form looking almost translucent under the halo. She tells us she was missing an eye and covered in scars before this world. Her angel form wasn't for vanity. It was a wish to take away the pain she knew too well. Rhea grabs her sword, but the edge is gone. She calls Seika Ugo through her tears, as if lying to her own curse is the only way to save her. Then she bolts, disappearing into the dark forest, and leaving us standing in the wake of a shattered friendship. I find her gasping for air against a gnarled tree. She's reaching for her sword, trying to blind herself so she never has to see pretty girls and trigger her killing impulse again. I lunge, pinning the steel to the trunk. No way I'm letting you break yourself. Time to close the sale. I manifest sealing hell with 5 fingers. A dark energy snake coils around my hand, its yellow eyes pulsing with a predatory light. I'm offering her a trade as a salesman, her sight in exchange for her freedom from the curse. She asks why I'd go this far. Is it because Seika is pretty? I'm looking at her and remembering Seika's innocent smile over a cheap burger. I'm just a salesman repaying a debt of kindness that gold can't reach. Looks don't buy loyalty like that. The deal is signed in the shadows. Rhea admits she's jealous of our party before stepping into the darkness to find her own path. It's a deal, I whisper, watching the magical residue fade into the trees. Seika's awake, looking at me with those wide, trusting eyes. I have to be the realist here. I tell her we keep this power a secret. In a world of wolves, a treasure like her is just an invitation for the world to come and take it. I'm kneeling before her, my heart hammering against my ribs. Call my name, I say. I'll come running anywhere. I'm trying to be the hero, but the excruciating HP drain from her touch has my hand literally dripping with nervous sweat. Morning light hits the mountain road. Seiji is grinning, completely oblivious to the near-death drama from last night. He's talking about the city of Valeria like it's a school field trip. His innocence is almost painful to watch. At camp, Reese and I discuss Seiji's special notes. They're full-throttle cringe, but they're pure. I've made my choice. This kid's light is exactly what a king needs. I'll be the shadow that puts him on the throne so people like Seika can live safely. Ambush! A literal army of stone golems and orcs blocks the canyon. Seiji tries to get into his hero zone, but then he screams, "My shoes are untied! You don't even have laces, you idiot!" We're forced to start the skirmish while he fumbles with his footwear. Seika's holding the line with a wind wall while Seiji finally hits his stride. The transformation into Aldean is a chaotic mess of feathers and light. I'm just cringing in the background, praying his expensive new gear doesn't rip as his muscles expand. I'm flicking mud balls and invisibly buffing their stats. Accuracy raised. Attack raised. Seika and Riz are actually holding their own while Seiji flies around like a majestic, glowing moron. I'm turning this massacre into a tutorial for them. Aldean is descending like a divine engine of destruction. He's taking on the stone golems with a red cutter that looks cool but probably breaks his own fingers. I'm watching the monsters scatter as the experience points roll in. Happily ever after, I guess. The battle's done, and Seiji's already lying about passing out to hide his embarrassment. Seika is still swooning over the wandering hero. I'm just pouting in the back, realizing my plan to make this dork a king is going to be a very long road. We finally hit the Principality of Valeria. It's a bustling hub. But I'm staring at a building with work plastered on it. Great! Even in a fantasy world, corporate slavery is inescapable. We're returning the pack animals and the staff member asks me to step into the pen. I'm not an animal! The town is scenic enough, but my brain is running the numbers on our empty pockets. We're staring down a literal mountain of fries. I need to find a steady income before we're starving. I'm watching Seiji try to play the leader while I calculate the risk of using my powers. Back at the inn, he drops the bombshell. Making money here means regular employment. I escaped the 9 to 5 for this. I'm scanning the job posters and my jaw drops. Trash cleanup for $28,000 a month? That reeks of a trap, and I can already see Seika walking straight into the meat grinder. Seiji wants to hit the casino to find non-ordinary people with info. He looks at me with those earnest eyes, wanting to protect his friends. Fine, kid. I'll back you up. We step into the neon-lit grand hall, chips clinking and wheels spinning. The ball drops. Red 7. Seika is clapping like a toddler, blissfully unaware of the sharks in this room. She's winning through pure dumb luck while the rest of us are actually working the case. Back at the burger joint, Seika reveals the winnings. 30,000 rira. I'm sweating just looking at the stack. She's glowing, but that much cash is just a lighthouse for Trouble. And here comes Trouble in a tailored suit. This guy Kajita, the hallmaster, is bowing and calling Seika a tycoon. My alarm bells are screaming as he watches her through those sunglasses. He drags us to a private lounge that looks like a VIP's fever dream. He pulls out a golden extra stage pass, promising high-stakes games for people who find the regular tables beneath them. Kajita is laying it on thick, offering a free lifetime membership for romance. It's the smoothest sales pitch I've ever seen. Seika is tempted, but she actually stops to consult us first. We're regrouping at the inn, and I'm breaking down the play. This guy is a predator who makes his targets feel special before he systematically guts them. Seiji drops the real horror. Those high-paying jobs are one-way tickets to the casino. One guy's friend disappeared so thoroughly that his entire house was replaced by an empty lot. They're erasing people. Seika is trembling with rage. She wants to go undercover as a wealthy target to expose these monsters. Seiji's sense of justice is on fire, and honestly, mine is too. The mission is live. Seika is sashaying across the red carpet in an elegant dress, playing the celebrity perfectly. Kajita is taking the bait, smirking like he's already won. Time to end his game. Kajita is leading us into the belly of the beast. He's fishing for information, but I've been a salesman too long to fall for a transparent probe. We're keeping our background strictly low info as we step into the extra stage. This lounge is built into a literal cave, grand but suffocating. Our new escort Kato is already sweating bullets. He flubs his introduction with a nervous smile while I scan the room. The security here is way too tight for a normal lounge. Kajita is targeting me now. He wants to know my level, but I feed him the salesman's special. A vague, tricky answer that technically isn't a lie. My stomach. Where's the restroom? I lie, slipping away from Seika and Kato. I'm moving through the dark, torch-lit stone corridors, following the scent of this conspiracy. I need to infiltrate restricted areas without tripping alarms. I'm pulling up my menu. Transformation magic. Transform. I'm a bat now. A bat with my own distinctively ugly face. It's a ridiculous sight, but at least I can fly. I find Kajita in a grand hall mourning before a winged statue. I'm seeing his memories. The pharmacy his parents lost. The accident that left him in despair. He's broken, but that doesn't excuse what he's become. Kajita thinks he's a savior. Defiled souls must be purified, he whispers. He's initiating Tactic 13, letting Seika win big to get her addicted. He's systematically dragging her into hell while she thinks she's lucky. Igashira lied, and Kajita didn't hesitate. He turned the man into a mummy right before my eyes. Now I get it. The trash cleanup jobs in town are for disposing of the bodies of his victims. He's a monster. Back at the table, Seika is laughing over a pile of 2 million riras. She has no idea it's rigged. Wait, my earning penalty isn't kicking in? Chips aren't technically money yet. I finally found the loophole. Kajita returns, playing the perfect host. He invites her to a customized game further back at the Coliseum. He's leading her into the deepest part of the facility, and she's walking right into the trap. Floor B3. It's a massive underground arena filled with cages. Kajita explains they synthesize unique monsters for blood sports. I'm connecting the dots now. The job ads, the synthesis, it's all part of this nightmare. Seika sees the scratches on Kato's face and knows Kajita did it. I'm a great mage, she beams, casting healing magic right in front of them. She's too pure for this place, and Kato looks like his world is tilting. We're in the elevator, and Kato finally reaches his breaking point. Please run! Don't come back! He begs. He's terrified, confessing his hatred for this job and his fear of Kajita. He's done being a coward. The doors open and Seiji is already here as Aldean. He's doing that dramatic hero thing again, comforting the weeping Kato with a paternal pat on the head. Seriously, what am I even watching right now? The staff are closing in. Seiji is ready to draw them out while I join him. Kato warns us. Kajita's eyes glow red when someone lies. One slip of the tongue and he'll suck your life force dry as punishment. Panic erupts in the Grand Hall as Kato orders an evacuation. Rize and Seika reveal their true forms, a demon girl and an angel. Rize synthesizes a red crystalline blade for Seiji, and the stage is set for a massacre. I'm buffing the team's accuracy from the shadows. I need Kato to stay and witness this. We will expose evil no matter what, Seiji shouts. We're going to tear the mask off Kajita's liberation plan once and for all. Kajita is pulling the ultimate toxic middle manager move, using stolen magic to heal himself while treating his own men like trash. He thinks he's in control, but Seiji has finally had enough of this rigged game. My hero asset is glowing with that annoying main character energy again, ready to crash the party. Welcome to the Abyss, where the announcer treats Bloodsport like a 5-star Vegas review. We're standing in the center of the arena, the spotlight hitting us like a target on a billboard. Seiji and the girls look like legends, while I just look like the guy who paid for the bus ride. They released the first monster, a 3-headed chimera that looks like a total HR nightmare. I grab Kato and haul him to safety. No sense letting a witness get liquidated before the audit. Rize is already in the air, her red wings cutting through the fire as the negotiation turns violent. Seiji takes flight, coordinating with the girls to corner the beast. He's got good form for a former CEO. He calls out Aurora Shining Destination, a flashy name for an even flashier pillar of light. The impact is solid, hitting the Chimera with enough force to level a corporate office. A second dragon pops up, but it's quickly vaporized by Seiji's overwhelming light. Then he fumbles, typical hero, nails the landing but gets pinned under the monster's leg like a total amateur. I'm rubbing my eyes at the clumsiness while Seika jumps in to mend his pride and his HP. A level 200 monster? That's way out of the kid's pay grade, and I can't afford to let my assets get liquidated. I activate slowing time, turning the world into a gray still life. I slip through the shadows, heading straight for the management suite to handle this at the source. I find Kajita in the control room and the guy is absolutely manic, screaming about killing everything. It's like a board meeting that turned into a bloodbath. I have to physically restrain him, blocking his red crystalline weapon with my own stats. The time for polite negotiation has officially passed. He rants about purifying the world because he hates the rich. I get the frustration, but his business model is purely destructive. I look him in the eye and tell him I'm an epic fighter. I'm here to finish this contract and protect my people, not listen to his deranged sales pitch. While the party struggles in the arena, Kajita summons his masterpiece, a level 9999 winged eyeball beast. The stats on this thing are a literal game glitch. He's looking at me like I'm a pig, convinced that his synthesized god is going to erase me from the payroll. He unleashes Thunder of Gods, a move that would vaporize anyone else. Too bad for him, my defense stats are in the trillions. I counter with Northern Cross Blizzard. In an instant, the entire room is a block of ice. The monster, the magic, and his confidence, all frozen solid. I lay it out for him. 1,000,005 points in every attribute. That's why his lie detection failed. I didn't lie about being an epic fighter. I just didn't mention that Almighty God was my actual job title. Separating the occupation from the main job, it's Salesmanship 101. Suddenly, a girl named Karina appears and stabs Kajita from behind. No warning, no dialogue, just a massive blade through the chest. She's claiming to be another almighty god. Great, just what I needed. More competition in a market that's already oversaturated with monsters. She mocks Kajita for being a weak temp staff before he finally kicks the bucket. She talks about Ordnungspeer, an alliance of misfits and criminals who couldn't fit into the old world. This girl is terrifyingly casual about murder, treating the whole underworld like her private sandbox. She says she's lonely because she's too strong, and then she has the audacity to call me Uglymug Samurai Boy. She's trying to charm me into joining her cause. My touch penalty is already spiking just thinking about being around someone this unstable. I turn her down. My job is to guide my party through this mess, not join some underworld syndicate. She doesn't take the rejection well, declaring herself my new obstacle before vanishing into the dark. Looks like I've just inherited a very dangerous, very petty god as an enemy. I'm raising my glass with the team, celebrating the casino raid, but my mind is on that bounty. Seiji is trying to play the noble hero, refusing the gold. I have to lean in, invading his space to talk sense into him. Hold on a second, this is legitimate compensation. Take it! We're talking about Kajita and the Ordnungspeer, an alliance of reincarnated outcasts. Seika is cheering, completely oblivious to the blood we just waded through. I'm watching them enjoy this feast, knowing the underground world is far from finished with us. I show Seiji the black flag we recovered. It's a mark of the organization. Before we can dig deeper, Kato bursts in, sweating. He's got a client, Sakurai Heizo, a wealthy arms dealer looking for a guard. Why does that name feel like a punch to the gut? I'm staring at him. Sakurai, my old abusive boss. Buzz off, you pig. He doesn't recognize me. I take the reins of the carriage, steering us towards Cezanne while my forehead throbs with pure stress. I feel a presence watching us from the heights. Karina. She's looking down with that smug, god-tier smile. Looks like a bunch of hypocrites, she says. I don't need my detection skills to know she's planning something messy. The mansion feast is a gluttonous nightmare. Sakurai is using healing magic just to cancel out his uric acid levels so he can keep drinking. It's disgusting. Meanwhile, the girls are in paradise, trying on frilly dresses and squealing with excitement while I try to maintain my professional mask. Suzuki Saburo is guiding us through the weapon factory. Molten metal, hammers, and blades everywhere. Then Seika picks up a knife. She's slicing through tomatoes like they're air. I'm just trying to make sure she doesn't buy the whole store. We show Suzuki the flag. His face changes. He tells us about a client who ordered 1,000 spears and then vanished. An empty house, a ghost of a customer. It's the same black and gold mark. We're stepping into a shadow much bigger than a casino. Reese alerts me to a problem. The staff is literally trying to recruit Seika as their mascot. I'm rushing in, hands waving. Please don't recruit her. I can't have my primary healer resigning for a career in tomato marketing. Late at night, Seiji drops the bomb. He wants to start a company. A sanctuary for special node outcasts and a shield against Ordnungspeer. He's looking out at the stars, talking about corporate structures in a world of magic. It's bold, but lethal. I have to warn him. If you hire a traitor, your never let friends down note will destroy you. I suggest a different path. Become a king. I picture him on a balcony, watching over the people from a bird's eye view. Manage the talent, don't let them become your burden. Seiji looks me in the eye and asks me to be a founding member, a confidant he can trust. I tell him about my touch penalty, how I'll drain the funds, but he doesn't care. My hand is sweating in my glove, but I reach out. Handshake. The contract is sealed. Naming the company is a circus. Seiji is shouting about burning flare humans while I'm dying inside. Thankfully, Seika draws a better name from the lot. This bridge. The bridge to the light. We say our goodbyes to Sakurai and head back to Valeria to build our future. 1 month later, the doors are open. Kai Yoshio is our president. Seiji stands before the group, laying out our dual mission, helping special note users and hunting the shadow of Ordnungspeer. We're not just a party anymore, we're an organization. Training is intense. Seika is becoming dependable, taking notes while I lecture. Reese is scouting from the rooftops. We just signed our first client, a man who can't touch money. We're paying him in items instead. It's working. The model is sustainable. The day is ending and the last applicant walks in. My heart stops. I can feel the sweat rolling down my face, those green eyes, that cold, smug stare. I have a very, very bad feeling about this negotiation. Seiji is already digging into bounty lists, tracking the shadows of Ordnungspeer while I watch Leah work the room. She uses cold reading to tease Seika, playing her like a professional salesperson before finally agreeing to trust our little operation. She's sharp, way sharper than she looks. My stomach is doing backflips as she describes her mentor, Mr. Y, a strange salesman from a trading firm who taught her how to smile. She's describing my old life, my old lessons. She's the night butterfly I once gave that book to. I'm sweating through my shirt, praying she doesn't recognize me behind this grotesque mask. Up on the roof, the air is cold, but Reese's words are a punch to the gut. She's researched everything, the news, the court records, and she knows my crime was a total fabrication. Hearing her say she believes in me, it's the first time in 2 worlds I felt like a human being instead of a monster. I use my search skill to track Leah to the outskirts, and what I see makes my corporate blood boil. She's found a kid caught in a debt trap with an illegal loan shark. The underworld in this city is deeper and more predatory than I expected. Enter Kaido Genji, a level 181 nightmare from Ordnung Spear with special notes that literally say, "Money is more important than lives." Reese is reading his stats and the guy is pure filth. I'm ready to jump in, my fingers twitching to level the entire courtyard. Leah plays it cold, buying the girl like merchandise to get her out of Kaido's reach. She's using her cynical mask to save a life, even using a suppress skill to keep the kid from doing anything reckless. My new applicant has more heart than she's willing to admit. She rejects Kaido's recruitment offer without a second thought, but once the sharks leave, the mask slips and she breaks down. She's carrying a mountain of regret for the ones she couldn't save. And in the distance, I see Karina watching. That girl is like a vulture waiting for the light to fade. I'm trying to enjoy a carnival day off with Seika, but my face is basically a crowd-clearing tool. People part like the Red Sea when they see me. Seika doesn't care. She's too busy dragging me toward a darts game to win some ridiculous plushie. It's almost peaceful, which is my first sign that things are about to go south. Karina just appears out of nowhere, nailing a bullseye and forcing a friendship on Seika with a plushy bribe. I'm standing here paralyzed, sweat pouring down my face as the other almighty god invades our private space. She's looking at me with those knowing eyes and it's making my skin crawl. As the parade rolls by, Karina starts dropping truth bombs about almighty gods, explaining to Seika that we're just reincarnated losers who traded human desires for power. She's inching closer to exposing me, using the festival's noise as cover for her psychological warfare. My pulse is a drum in my ears. She pulls me aside at a stall and tells me she'll melt away if kissed by her beloved. It's a sick joke, a taunt to make me fall in love with her as a handicap. She's treating this world like a dating sim while I'm trying to keep everyone from getting slaughtered. Then she goes too far, threatening to soil Seika's purity by hurting Leah. My hand slams onto the table, my stats flaring as I glare at her. If she does something uncalled for, I don't care if she's a god, I'll wipe her from the registry. She vanishes into the crowd, leaving nothing but a plucked flower behind. Leah is back at the office, but she's withdrawing her application. She confesses everything. The attack on the perpetrator back home, the knife, the guilt. She says her special notes were just her final suicide letter. She thinks she's a villain, but I see a woman who was pushed to the edge by a broken world. Seika won't let her walk away, tearfully calling her brave for standing up for others. The rest of the team nods along. We're hiring her, history and all. Welcoming Kikuna Leah to Vis Bridge is our first real step toward the light. We're building a sanctuary for the broken, and I'm gonna make sure this investment pays off. I'm looking at this wanted poster and my gut is twisting. A scarred man? This isn't just a random kidnapping. Leah's eyes go cold as she stares at the boy. I have to be the one to settle the score, she says, and before I can argue, she's walking out the door with a confident, chilling smile. Space is warping around us. I'm floating in a dark, swirling abyss with Reese, my brain struggling to process the shift. Then she appears, Karina. That smug, god-tier smile is back. I'll take Leah away from Seika, she sneers. She knows exactly who I am. We're dumped unceremoniously outside the castle walls. Reese looks at me, and her voice is trembling with a weight I don't want to carry. Her name is Shiratori Reiko. My heart stops. She's the twin sister of the woman who destroyed my life in the old world. Back at Vis Bridge, the kid is terrified, but Seika's face is set in stone. Leah-san is my friend! She shouts, her fists clenched. We're a company, but we're moving as a unit now. I'm tracking Kaido's position, realizing Karina is likely the puppet master behind this entire script. Leah's standing in the ruins, facing down Kaido and his mercenaries. She thinks she's buying that girl's freedom, but Kaido's laughing in her face. I got a better offer, he sneers. The contract's breached, and the tension in the air is thick enough to choke on. Then comes the chaos. Karina swings into the scene upside down, mocking the mercenaries like they're gnats. She isn't here for the gold. She wants to stain Seika's soul by breaking Leah right in front of her. It's a psychological hit job. Karina is hanging inches from Leah's face like a predator playing with its food. Do you remember Kyoko? She whispers. Those eyes. They're searching for every ounce of trauma Leah has buried. It's a masterclass in cruelty. Then the mercenary comes back with revenge as Karina only paid him half the money. His ability of not believing in gods make Karina lose her powers against him. A pillar of light hits the ground and Seiji's here as wandering hero Aldean. His mouth is wide open, shouting lines like he's in a budget theater production. It's melodramatic, but the hero asset is live and the pressure is finally shifting. Leah's telling them to run, but Seika's not moving an inch. I promised myself I wouldn't cry anymore, she declares, her hand reaching for Leah's. My little investor is finally showing some real backbone, even against an almighty god. And as I wanted to help my friends, I suddenly turn into a prince, Sieg Schneider. This must be because of Leah's special note of her hero being a prince. Damn it. My professional image is in shambles, but Leah is looking at me like I'm a prince from a fairy tale. The thugs are swarming now. I'm throwing kicks, but something's wrong. My attributes are tanking in this handsome form. I'm basically a debuffed pretty face trying to stay relevant while Karina treats the battlefield like her private playground. Karina's done playing games. Rainbow Thunder! She screams. The sky turns into a slaughterhouse of blue electricity, striking with surgical precision. Kaido's men are vaporized instantly, leaving nothing but scorched earth. The smoke clears and I'm hiding behind a rock when she finds me. Shigeru-kun, I didn't know you were handsome in real life, she says. She knows. She knows I'm a god. She starts talking about Kyoko. She's the real devil. I'm seeing flashes of her past. The hospital, the blood, the monster her sister was. Kyoko didn't just frame me. She destroyed her own blood until there was nothing left but rage. I see it now. Desperate, sleepless nights staring at a phone screen. She traded everything, her desires, her sleep, just for the power to be heard. To finally find someone like me who understands what it's like to be at the bottom. Karina lunges, but Seika transforms. Wings, halo, she's a literal angel. Please become my friend, she pleads, hands clasped. But Karina just snarls, her eyes burning. A god can't be friends with humans? Karina's rage is boiling over now. Why are you so kind? She screams. Seiji and Riz are positioning themselves, shields and wings out. We're facing the wrath of a god together, and for the first time I'm not calculating the exit strategy. We launch everything. Coordinated strikes, pincer moves, and she blocks them with her eyes closed. Thunder Spear! She shouts. The explosion levels the entire valley. My party is down, broken in the dirt. We're totally clobbered. The air is thick with the scent of ozone and defeat. I'm looking at Seiji and Riz lying motionless on the jagged rocks, their wings tattered. Seika is trembling. Karina is standing there with that smug, toxic smile, mocking the very idea of justice. What is justice? She sneers, her voice dripping with the bile of someone who thinks the whole concept is flawed and shitty. She's clenching her fist, eyes shadowed by a history of being stepped on and abused. She stands over the fallen hero, demanding an answer for her lifetime of humiliation. Seiji actually drags himself up, his chest emblem glowing with a faint, desperate light. You can take out your anger on me, he says, reaching out a hand. He's trying to share a burden that's already crushing him. She doesn't want peace. She wants blood. Karina plunges her staff straight through his arm, the white blade tearing through flesh and spraying the ground. She's screaming for him to shut up, but he won't fall. He refuses to break his oath. Karina's reached her limit. I hate it so much, she screams, tears mixing with pure rage. She conjures a massive orb of blue electricity that turns the night sky into a slaughterhouse. Lightning strikes the ruins, leveling everything in sight. I'm lying here in this useless, handsome form, completely drained. But Seika is manifesting as a literal angel, her light expanding into a massive green dome. She's trying to heal us, even as Karina unleashes a blast meant to erase us from existence. She then starts talking about how she met someone in her previous life who gave meaning in her life. It was me, I remember it now. The light is pulling me back. I see a hospital bed, blood on a little girl's face. Seika's past is a cluttered room of isolation and bandages. She was bedridden and orphaned, trapped in a wheelchair while the world moved on without her. The park. The bullies are calling her a monster, demanding she take off the bandages. I can't stand it. Stop being so lame! I'm shouting at them, my old salesman suit tight against my skin. I'm stepping in, my face scaring them off better than any threat could. I pushed her all the way home that day. I told her she was beautiful, no matter what was under those bandages. I handed her a single white origami crane, a charm to protect her when she felt lost. I didn't know then that it would become her lifeline. She kept my letter for years. It told her to find her freedom, to pursue what she loved. When she finally passed her exams, she saw that second life ritual on her screen. She clicked next and gambled everything on a new start. She found that freedom, she found us. Back in the present, her angelic light is clashing violently with Karina's dark energy. It's a war of wills, a blinding discharge of magic that's cracking the very air around us. I finally remember. I'm not some pretty boy prince. I'm the Uglymug Epicfighter. I shed the mask, my stats flaring as I return to the face I took pride in. I scoop Seika up, determined to carry everyone's wishes forward. The negotiation is over. It's a duel. I'm clashing with Karina in a dark, swirling void. Purple and green energy beams collide like cosmic thunder. I'm riding on glowing crystalline shards, matching her strike for strike in this chaotic space. Our weapons clash with enough force to shatter worlds. I stare into her eyes, my gaze focused and intense. Shouldn't we start over one more time? I ask. Karina? No, Shiratori Reiko. She's breaking down, screaming for the death of her sister, Kyoko. I reveal the truth. I was a victim of Kyoko's framing too. We're two of a kind. Both of us reincarnated just to escape that devil's curse. She tries to erase me with her strongest staff skill, but I've got one move left. I dump 100 quadrillion bonus points into my agility. I'm a blur in her blind spot. Meteo Crush! My fist connects, triggering an explosion that levels the void and ends the nightmare. It's over. Karina's gone and this bridge is finally taking off. We're a real organization now, dedicated to helping Special Note users find their second chance. I'm taking a bite of this burger and looking at my team. I promise to keep them smiling. Let's head to the next job.
Thank you for watching. This was Nyanime Recaps. Subscribe for more.